Yes, my truck is loud, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. We're gonna go to a few places today. What's up? I thought I would come out to Longleaf today to do a little video. I've been seriously neglecting doing video that I've wanted to do for myself for quite some time now. Several years, easily. So, with that being said, we're in Kisatchie National Forest here at Longleaf. We're going to shoot some video. I've got a few things that I want to talk about. I want to share kind of an intro or a pre-intro. Let's see how this works. What's going on, everybody? My name's Jesse. This is going to be the intro to my channel. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I've been trying to do more video content like this for at least the last 3 years easily. I feel like sometimes I have to almost force myself into doing this type of work. I don't like being on this side of the camera. I feel more comfortable on the other side. What's happened is I feel compelled to share some stories about me, or personal stories. Or I feel like I also need to share tips on photography, why I'm into photography, what really pushed me over the edge into photography, and what I hope to get out of it, and where I plan on letting photography take me, which wherever my camera will take me. So I thought I would come out to one of my favorite places in this parish in central Louisiana. This is Longleaf Vista in Kisatchie National Forest, and if you can see the view behind me, this is about the best view you're gonna get in north central Louisiana as far as hills, mountains. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat. So I thought I would come out here. We're gonna do a little bit of the hike. Instead of just flying completely off the cuff, I'm going to make sure I stick to these talking points that I really want to, in this first video here, because it's kind of like I said, an intro to me, an intro to this channel, what you can expect here, and what you can expect from me. Let's get into it. I'm going to see if I can launch the drone and get some of these views. So before we go too far, I'm going to do that. Can't do this with one hand. As the name and the title suggests, my name's Jesse, and I have been interested in this digital forefront for a long time. You can say I've grown with it, and I'm not as young as a lot of these YouTubers that are van lifing, going on really wild adventures. I would love to go on more really wild adventures, but I'm married with 2 kids, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. Maybe when the kids are graduating, I don't know. We'll see how all of that unfolds, but that's not the point of this. I mean, we all have something to share. In today's society, especially with social media and everything living, behind a cell phone, we all have access to cameras. We all have access to video cameras, and they are the best they've ever been. In a sense, when you're taking your photos of the food you had and the party you just went to, you're creating content. We're all content creators without even assuming that title. We're just, some of us just do it just to share, just to document, just to remember a certain point or a time in our lives. And I love that, but at the same time, like, filtering through the noise, it's hard. And I understand, I experienced that same struggle, if you will. Who am I? Let's look at my list and make sure that I'm staying on point here. Who I am. Yeah. So I have been in digital media for about 10 years now. I struggle with my own self-consciousness. I struggle with being in front of the camera when I feel more at home behind it. I struggle with committing to making videos like this, which is why I haven't in the past, because I don't want to start and then never do this again. So maybe it'll take me driving out here to Kisatchie more often. If that's what it takes, then maybe that's what I'll do. A little bit of backstory here. And all of this is going to be relating to cameras, film, photography. It's always been something that has interested me. It's always been something that I've done or had a hand on. It's not always something that I pursued. Cameras, I remember my mom and dad, when big VHS camcorders came out, like, they recorded everything when my brothers were born. I don't remember being in a lot of those videos, but I know that my brothers were. Because my parents, my dad especially, he lugged that big heavy VHS recorder around a lot. We always had cameras around us. Yeah, I remember having my first camera was a Polaroid for a while, and then I got the 112 cartridge Kodak. It was a little, like, candy bar shaped film camera. I've since found a few on eBay just to kind of put into my collection, because it reminds me of the first camera that I had, some of the first cameras that I had. And it kind of, it's nostalgic. And I've yet to develop anything from that camera, but I do have a couple of 112 film cartridges. So I've always been around cameras. I've always had a fascination with cameras. I never really pushed it completely as an art form. I got married in 2005, and my wife was doing film classes at the university. So I kind of let her have the film thing. I let her do the photography. And I played with cameras some when we first got married. I was really doing it just for the art purposes. And what that did for me was it kind of let me learn how not to take photos first and foremost. Because I would play with light. I would do, we would have really cheap Amazon light boxes and LED lights, and we were buying red lights and blue lights, incandescent bulbs from Walmart, like in the party section 15 years ago. Like, that was what I did with photography, which was really just all about expression. It had nothing to do with trying to take a perfect photo. It was really just, I want to create for the sake of art. And like I said, it really helped me learn how not to take photos. And you fast forward, several years now, a decade now, I've kind of rebirthed and reignited a passion that I've had for cameras and for photography. But I just really, over the last decade, really just started loving it completely. It became something that really engrossed everything that I was doing. It became part of my work. It became part of you know, my art form. And I consider myself an artist. I've always been into art, and I've always been, I mean, I took all the art classes, plus in high school I took plenty of art classes in college, at university. And photography really, for me, and I know I've said this in posts, but photography for me really marries two sides of my brain. I'm very analytical and very computational, and I'm also very creative. I love having that marriage of the technology and how to get the image that you want, married with being creative with it. So it's all the technical, mathematical, all of the computational theory and practice, along with just having fun. And for me, that's perfect. That's a perfect marriage of both sides of my brain. It's taken me that long to really learn that this is really kind of who I am. This helps me be me when I am using cameras. You know, it's really who I am. It's who I've become, and I'm loving every day with it. You know, a decade now of using these as tools, but also as creative outlets. I fall in love with it every day, over and over again. The holding a camera and walking and talking to it, man, this has got to look weird to people. That's why I came out here where there's no one. I couldn't imagine doing this in an airport or the grocery store. Like, this is so unnatural. This is so weird. But the next question that I have for myself is, why photography? And this one, I could go on and on about why photography for a while. So I'm gonna try and sum this up in the best way possible. And I like this bench over here, check it out. So why photography, Jesse? Why photography? Photography is a perfect union of my brain. If I were to show you how my brain was, it's very scattered. I'm very much, you know, to an extent, I'm very squirrel-brained with 15 different things going on, but I'm hyper-focused on 15 different things. So there may be one or two things that really just stay in here, which, you know, like creating these videos. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks at home, and, you know, I had to now just force myself to sit down and do these. So that's why I decided I'll come out here where there's nobody, there's no noise, there's no phones ringing, there's no kids, there's nobody asking for something to eat. I came out here to escape that, but I came out here to create this video to talk about why photography, to talk about, and I guess that answers the why photography side of this, because it's me. Photography, it makes me happy, and when I share things like pictures of fireworks or of Kisatchie or far off places that people get to escape to or remember when they went there, and then I read in the comments, you know, that I met my fiance there, or I got married there, or this brings me home. Those types of comments, no matter where I'm posting stuff from, those types of comments really make me happy that something that makes me so happy resonates with someone out there in the real world. And that's a good segue into the next little thing that I think I have written down here. So, no fake skies. What do I mean by no fake skies? Well, no fake skies for one. As an artist, I feel like, especially with AI becoming such a thing these days, that as an artist, and especially as a photographer, maybe I'm a little more on the photojournalism side of documenting versus creating something that doesn't really exist. The photographers that go out and they move mountains and they pull clouds and they relight everything a certain way. Is it still photography? I guess it's still photography to the extent that, yes, they shot all of those pieces, but they're assembling artwork and they're assembling images more than they're documenting what was actually there. I like documenting what was there and revealing through editing what I saw or what I felt or what I want the viewer to feel from that day. So if I go out and the sky is like it is today, there's some texture up there, but it's not a lot. You're gonna get what I saw that day that way. I'm not going to drop in clouds. I'm not going to move trees. I'm just not. I'm gonna search for the composition that I want to share, and that's what you're gonna get from me. Now, is it gonna be color graded? Will I dodge and burn? Will I remove a mole or a pimple or a whatever? Yes, sure. If it can be done in film in the darkroom, then akin to film in the digital darkroom, I'm gonna be able to do that in Lightroom, and if I can do it in Lightroom, then yes, I'll do it. But I'm not going to bring it into Photoshop and put mountains in the desert, and that's not me. I'm not going to assemble images that aren't true to what I feel is the heart of photography. So, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that I'm not dissing anyone that does that. You know, art is in the eye of the beholder. Art is in the eye of the artist. And I believe that wholeheartedly as well. I believe that if you can do it and you do it well, then put mountains in the desert and drop in fake skies and put birds everywhere and do all of that. Do it for you if that's what you feel. I just, as an artist and photographer, and as a photographer first, if I can't do it in the digital darkroom, I'm not doing it to share with the world. I'm also not a fan of over-processing, faces, like making people look plastic, and, that's not for me. That's what I'm saying. I think that's where we are in the world. People, maybe not everybody, but I believe that's why we're seeing such an uptick in film photography becoming such a thing again. I would be willing to bet money that this year, 2023, has had the biggest influx of film in probably a decade. Like, there are more people shooting film than there have been in 20 years. And I think that's because fake skies and all of the Photoshop filters and TikTok filters and Instagram filters and all of the fakeness, people are tired of it. People want to see what's out there in reality. I know I would hate to climb a mountain, hike a trail, go to an overlook, and it looks nothing like what some of these artists have created and assembled to make it look like. That, to me, does an injustice to reality. It does an injustice to that particular park or overlook or trail or mountain, making it look unreal, even though you're making it look very surreal. That's surreal art. It's just not for me. You're not going to get fake skies from me. You're going to get a version of reality that I have just enhanced in a way in which I feel, or in a way in which I saw. Hope you got something out of this. I hope this matters. And I hope you like this. I hope you will thumbs up, like, subscribe, all of those things. But I hope you'll comment. I hope you'll let me know what you think of this. Ultimately, I'm doing these for myself, and I'm doing these for you. So, please, your comments matter. That's it. Hope you enjoy. Have a great day. See you in the next one. Hopefully I'll do more, right? Thank you. Bye. What do you think it took for someone to have to put this out here? No deer carcasses.